Hi guys. Hi Dragonfly. Hope you're well. Just wait for a few more to come in. Hope everybody's well. Hello, my hooves. Oh, I knew you'd be here. Just waiting for a few more to come in. I've actually had a new laptop as well, so I'm over the moon. I've got managed to get everything that I needed on here as well. So brilliant. I've got a proper studio thing. So there's no excuses. There's a few things I wanted to talk about today, but I'll just hang on for a few more. There's a few more coming in now. Just say hello as you come in. So I'm just getting used to this computer now, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I hope everybody's had a great day today as well. It's been a bit of a crazy day. Hello, Lungan. Hey, sweetheart. I was waiting for you to come in. I was waiting for her niece Rage as well. She should be here in a little while. I was just saying, Lungan, I've just had a new computer today and I'm absolutely over the moon. I've managed to get everything I need on there. I've managed to get all of the I've managed to get all of the apps I need on there as well. So I am really, really over the moon. I Rage. I've been waiting for you to come in. I don't know if Dragonfly or Honest Rage wants to come up with me for a bit tonight. Because it's kind of I kind of want to talk about rather than talk about the idiots. I really want to talk about the real issues and okay, Rage, whenever you're ready, sweetie. I want to talk about the real issues here and the reason why we're here. I'm really, really, really trying my hardest at the moment to reach out to Letitia. I think she might have had a baby because it would actually be due now. So there stands a good chance she's actually locked up in hospital somewhere. So, maybe that's one of the reasons I cannot get hold of her. I have been really, really trying. The other thing is, and I'll say it again when I get more people in the room, I've had a lot of people ask me about you coming up now, Rage. Hang on, let me get you.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I darling. See, you might be able to help me here because I don't really know the situation. Can everybody hear me okay?
Oh, I don't have them. I need to get my headphones.
Right, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you great.
Oh, good. There's an echo.
Do I have an echo?
I don't know. I can't hear one.
I don't have anything else on.
Okay, can everybody hear okay now? Right. Okay. So I need a little bit of help. Hi, Pro. Hi, Luna. I need a little bit of help from you guys. I had a lot of people in the chat yesterday and the day before asking me to reach out to a lady named Kimmy. I've looked, I've searched YouTube, but I cannot find the person. I don't think the person that you're talking about, when I'm putting the names in, I'm not really getting anything. So I'd appreciate it if anybody could email me, like, you know, maybe a channel or, you know,
She was
whatever, so I
on.
can reach
She
out
was
to her.
actually on um Voices Behind the Shit earlier.
Right.
Kimmy was.
Right. So, okay. So hopefully we should have Laurie coming in a little while anyway.
Yeah, they're.
And see if I can get her to come over to here, because I mean, do you know anything about the situation, Rach?
I just know that um she's been bullied really hard by several people,
Right.
and she has mental health issues as well. So people have been really like they
Hey,
use her as
Ricky.
content, I guess. You know, people just they decide that somebody's having a problem, that'd make great content, regardless of how somebody feels about it later. If they're
Sorry.
long gone.
Could you email me that if you don't mind, darling, just so I can reach out to her. See what help we can get. And see if we can get this whatever's going on stopped.
I think she was on a live, Kathy, before the live with Lori and Bob, because they had said something about we saw you, whatever. She's been away for a month. She took a month off.
Right,
So
and she's come out. She's kind of come back out today, because I'm
mhm.
not really sure on the situation of what's going on. But I had a lot of people. Right, okay, so she's a manic. Oh my gosh, manic depressive with schizophrenia. That's not a nice thing to
Yeah,
have to
she
deal
needs
with.
gentle touch with that.
Mm, um, I'm glad she sounds good today. But this is what I want to do. You know, kind of. I've reached out and I've researched a lot of organisations over there, over in the USA, just so I've got a little bit of you know, someone to contact, that if you know, somebody, you know, reaches out, then you know, I know the people to kind of direct them to. But you know, I also want to make sure that right, hang on. Right.
One that they
Apparently
both
she
have.
was, yeah, apparently she was on Voices Beyond the Shit. So
Well,
um
she was in the chat.
oh, she was in the chat, right, right.
Yeah, she
Let
was
me
in the
just put you
chat.
on, see if I can get your name up. I don't know why it's not coming up. Kimmy knows me. Right, okay, long gone. Maybe if you could email her for me, and explain who I am, and you know, see if you can get her over here, and we can see what we can do for her. I've also as well reached out, as I said, to Letitia. Um,
Thank you, Ricky.
from what I can gather, she's actually in hospital. Um, the baby would have actually been due right now, so I think she hasn't been on social media since a week ago, when Nicolina put it in a community page, her having a meltdown in the car because she's still homeless, and this was maybe a week ago. So I'm hoping that she's in hospital and she's safe at the moment, and that's why we can't get a hold of her, because I have emailed her, I've reached out to her. Well, you know, this is, you see, what I suggest that people do is, you know, if you kind of, if you're reaching out to somebody that is mentally ill, and you know, they're kind of in a situation where they're scared to reach out in case they get the mickey taken out of them or whatever, I suggest that you know, just say to them, just decide to go back and look at, you know, look at the videos, and it's a safe place to come to. And you know, I'm here at a certain time every day, and you know, it's quite easy then for people to come over. Right, okay, Hooves. I'll get
A
that
safe
saved.
place, yeah.
I'll get
Safe
that
place to
saved.
land with your issues of people bullying you
It's awful.
or making videos about you that are inappropriate or anything like that. It's
I mean,
just
it should actually be
yeah,
illegal. You know, I
yeah,
think, maybe we should maybe start a petition or some sort of movement as well to actually
yeah.
make it illegal to do this kind of thing. I mean, in England, I know, I mean, I live in Northern Ireland, but over in England, it is an offence to cyberbully, you know, and it's an arrestable offence. It's a prisonable offence
Hmm.
actually now, because we had so many teenage suicides down to bullying. So it's actually against the law now. You know, it cannot be done. But from what I can see of I don't know if it's the laws or certain counties have different laws or different states. Um, but I mean, overall, it is illegal. In England, it is
It
illegal
needs
to
to be, yeah.
cyberbully. So I mean, a lot of these people as well. I mean, you can actually reach out to law enforcement. I'm sure it's the same over there as well, because it's not only bullying, it's harassment and it's stalking. You
Right.
know,
Very
um,
much a harassment and stalking to
oh,
do
it's
that.
terrible. It's terrible. I've been kind of sitting there today. I went this morning and I went and picked up my laptop, and I've been, oh, it's brilliant. It's fantastic. But I have been writing a few things down today as well, because there was a few things that I wanted to talk about um, regarding Nicolina and
Yeah.
Benny Keys, actually. Hey, you okay, Laurie? Um, I don't know if anybody actually saw Nicolina's rant the other night, drunken live that she actually put up.
I was in
Um,
Duke's
and
chat.
yeah, and she kind of, oh, she's such a bitch.
I wonder if
She
anybody
kind of,
recorded it.
yeah, she kind of blames the reason why she has a problem with mental health, and the reason she has no empathy or problem with bullying people with mental health problems is because she reckons that her mother was a manic depressant.
So it's everybody else's fault that her mom was
Yeah, and
ill.
because her mother was a manic depressant, she had this terrible upbringing that,
Well,
to me, this could just be the ploy of, this is why I am the way I am. But I
there's
was
no
I was
justifying
I
that
was
though.
abused all my life, and I don't go around abusing people, so there's
Well,
no
if she had
excuse.
any kind of mental health assistance, she would know that that's justification.
Well, to me, she has got a mental health problem.
Right. Exactly. The first
And the
step is
biggest part of her
admitting it.
problem is the fact that she can't admit she's got a problem.
Right.
I think she actually said on the live as well that she could have like some sort of detachment disorder, and this kind of stuff. Um, because her mum was kind of, didn't really give a shit, but I never did mine. But it don't make me a bitch.
Right.
I'm not a cold-hearted bitch. I guarantee whatever she went through as a kid was nowhere near as bad as what I went through as a kid.
Mm.
So it goes to show the kind of personality you develop as you grow up. You can either grow up hating the world around you, which I think she's done. That's why she's so bitter. Or you can grow up and you're going to want to make a change and you're going to want to help people instead of
Yeah.
being so bitter and horrible.
Well, I have sensed her heart before, so I know that she's not completely cold hearted. And if it is a step by admitting that she might have certain disabilities herself, that would be like,
That would probably save her own life. I mean,
well, yeah,
people,
and her children.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, if you think about it, right, every time we see her, she's pissed, she's drunk.
yeah,
She's
I
obviously
can't,
drinking
yeah,
to drain some sort of problem, and attacking people the way she attacks people. You know, it's kind of a mean girl way of coping. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it reminds me of
Um,
being on the school bus, the kids on the school bus that were rowdy and mean.
mhm. I mean, it's and as well. I mean, she's well in her 40s, so as right there, you know, she could be sort of going through a menopause as well. That you know
Yeah,
that wouldn't help with the
yeah.
you know on the bitch scale, you
And
know. But
Dragonfly, yeah. I was
I
watching
wouldn't
something
be
earlier,
excusing
Dragonfly.
no, I wouldn't be excusing her behaviour, and I wouldn't
No.
be giving her any redemption either because she's gone too far with what she's done. You know, if she wants to redeem herself, she wouldn't be able to do it with me. But you know, to save herself and to save her name, if she does actually say, "Well, okay, I've got a problem," and
Mm.
seeks help, then people might turn, you know,
See, that's
and
the thing. Like, I'm grateful for her telling Stormy that I needed a way home, but I'm also like disgusted that they turned around and made me look like a scam artist because of it.
but that's
Like,
what they do. That's what they do, though. That's their control,
I
you
mean,
know.
they all know that I have no income and I have not been begging anybody. Like,
Mhm,
that was just a real necessity.
mhm.
Like, it's just crazy how, but anyways, that's just about me. I'm not going to make it about me. What I'm saying about her is that it would take a lot.
But this
She
is
would have to show me
the lack of
actions, not
empathy
just
that she
words.
has. You know, she has no what's the word I'm looking for? Um, she's a lack of conscience. She
Mm,
doesn't have no conscience. There's no empathy with that at all. That's what enables her to be such a cruel bitch because she doesn't have empathy. She doesn't lie down later and think that person might go and hurt herself now. She doesn't give
yeah,
a shit. She has no. This is what I mean. This is how you know the traits of a mental illness as well, because normal people do not. You know, normal people don't act like that.
right.
You know, and sometimes you know you have to kind of look at the signs of people, and it's normally those people that are really unhappy in themselves that are so ugly on the outside. You know, if you're happy inside of yourself and you know you kind of open and you don't have to hide things, you know, especially if it's you're not well, it kind of
I kind
it's
of
a
agree with
relief.
Roses and Rainbows. She knows
Yeah,
what she's doing.
she does. She knows
If
exactly
her
what she's
friends aren't
doing.
happy, then she's not enjoying it. It's not about whether or not people are getting hurt. It's about if her friends dig it.
I saw that as well. Long gone. Um, she's I mean, her kids as well. I've never known anything like it. Oh, because I've known growing up the way I did. It's right, Ricky. You know, I think when you're very young, and you know, she was saying about her mum's problems. You know, she must have been very young at the time, and I had no fucking childhood because of it. You know, that's her answer.
Yeah,
That's probably why she won't admit she's got a problem, and the fact that she takes it out on people that are open about having a problem
that's borderline
because she hasn't got
personality
the
disorder.
courage to be open, you know?
Yeah,
Um, I mean, Benny Keys, if we look at him, he is open about the fact that he's a sociopath. He's quite open about it.
his daughter
And
says he was diagnosed schizophrenic.
well,
I
okay, so
I can see that because
we've
he's
got,
been,
we've got. You
yeah,
see, the thing is we have depression, which can be treated, and over time you know, it can fade away. Anxiety, you know, we can have that short time and it can go away. When it falls into the line of PTSD, you know, then that's kind of a long term problem.
yeah,
But when something happens to you, usually at a very young age, that's what causes, you know, personality disorders as such, because it's your brain trying to cope with what's happening to you.
right, yeah,
Um, I mean, Benny Keys, I have actually heard him say that he's a sociopath, but that would explain the fact again that he has lack of empathy. He has no consideration for rules. He's impulsive. He can be inappropriate. Is detachment disorders, all these kind of things that Benny has. I actually kept a thing on my phone because I was reading more about it, because I don't I know a lot about mental health, obviously, through work as well. I did a lot of work in a forensic unit, but what I found really interesting is with a sociopath, they kind of have, I think they reckon it's about 10 to 15 kind of traits, and they have to be within that 10 to 15 to be diagnosed. So the one would be like an hunger for power and dominance, and we know that's what Benny does. Devious or deceptive tendencies, which again we know he does.
Ulterior motives.
Yeah, ruthless in the pursuit of their goals. So he'll do anything to get where he wants to get. Hostile or aggressive towards others, which we know again. Easily irritated. Irresponsible decision maker. Superficial charm and persuasion, which we know. Broken moral compass. Very few close bonds, manipulative tendencies, entitlements, socially deviant, cheap thrill-seeking tendencies, bullying, opportunistic, emotional detachment. This is every single one of Benny Keys's, traits. So, but he does admit being a sociopath. I mean, I've actually somebody called him a narcissist, and he actually said, no, actually, I'd be more of a sociopath. So he doesn't deny it,
Right.
But you kind of have to. This is how he does what he does, because he doesn't have that moral compass. What we would have. We wouldn't stand up if we made a mistake, and we'd address it and we would mean it. He would get up and he would address his mistakes, but he doesn't mean it. He doesn't, consciously feel it. He just knows he's going to do it to get to the next level.
Right.
Because
ulterior motive.
Exactly, an alternative motive. But
hi, April.
What I was trying to explain to everybody is that something normally triggers this kind of behavior in everybody. Obviously mine is a personality disorder as well, but it's DID, and I'm not sure if I was reading not long ago that it's more common in women as well, and it's more common in victims of child abuse, because it's when you're a little girl, you kind of, I think even people that hadn't been through bad things when they were a little girl, you kind of imagine that you're someplace else sometimes, like you've been told off by your parents and you're in bed and you wish you were somebody else. And
I barely remember my childhood, that age, because I was getting beaten up.
I can actually remember detaching, from a really young age.
Right. That might have been what I was doing then. It was just,
I didn't know I was detaching at the time.
It was fight until it was done, and then I don't remember after.
Yeah.
I remember fighting him to stop him and running away from him, but I don't choose, my mind chooses not to remember the pain part, I think.
Yeah. That is a detachment disorder as well. That's your brain again coping. We all kind of, we all have it different. From what my therapist actually told me, my psychologist as well, was because I was so young at the time. um, it was easier for my brain to, it was easy for me to detach myself from the situation, because being 4 years old, you kind
Hmm.
of still believe in fairy tales and magic. Do you know what I mean? And I used to believe that I could do magic by being somebody else. Do you know what I mean? And I would lie there and I would tell myself that I am my cousin Marie. And in my brain, I would be in her body. And whatever
Hmm.
was around me, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't think I
If
ever
that makes any
pretended to
kind
be
of sense.
somebody else, but I pretended to be like Wonder Woman and things like that that I could
Yeah.
fight against.
I mean, I used to have imaginary friends when I was quite young, and I think that
Yeah,
started from about maybe 4 or 5 as well. That started to happen around the
that's
time
funny.
of
I was
the
just telling
maybe
Sandra
3
about mine.
actually,
Yeah,
because I lived in a
like
very abusive environment anyway. With
right.
my parents was very abusive towards each other, and it was a really horrible situation. So I had imaginary friends kind of from a really young age, and it was quite weird because these people kind of stuck with me most of my life. You know, um, it's not like I see them; I don't see things. But sometimes it's like an old conversation's going off in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to listen to what everybody's saying. It's
Mm.
really, it's crazy. I believe that my nan's there with me, because I hear her voice all the time. It's
Yeah,
like being
I
in a
feel
room with
I
people and there's nobody there.
yeah,
That's how
yeah.
it feels,
Well, and that's
you
the
know?
thing too. Like with prayer, like
Mhm,
I hear my mom's voice a lot answering me in prayer
mhm,
because she was a prayer warrior. Like
mhm,
she was very eloquent with her prayers.
mhm.
And so I hear
Meditation
her
and
voice a
stuff like
lot.
that as well, you
And
know?
yeah. Well, and
But
I've
it
always felt like since I've always been raised in believing in Jesus and God and everything, that
Mhm,
there's always somebody watching me. I
of
act as
course,
if there's always somebody watching me.
of
So those
course.
years that I was drinking and stuff, I was trying to block out the fact that somebody was watching me or something was watching me. Even though I was doing the wrong thing for myself, somebody was still there waiting for me to be better again.
Mm. No, Jackie, I've not actually heard of that now. Um, the thing is now is for the first time, probably maybe the last 7 years, my condition is actually starting to. My condition is actually under control through medication, um,
Yeah.
and I know I have to take my medication, or know that I risk being a danger to myself. I don't
Hmm.
believe I would be a danger to others, but to myself, I could be, because I could, anything could happen.
Well, definitely the medication is a big part of the reason why I
Oh,
don't drink
100%.
because
This
it makes
this
me
is why
sick because
people
of the
need to seek help
medication.
when when
Yeah.
they're feeling, I mean, even if it's anxiety that you're having a problem with, there's always something that can help. It
Hmm.
doesn't always have to be something from a doctor. I mean, there's a lot of natural things out there now that you can take, and stuff to help you sleep. And then we've got CBD oil and
Mm.
THC oil, and that is known as well to help with mental health problems. It's actually calming people, and
It
um
helps me for
yeah, it
sure.
does. I mean, the cannabis oils especially are
Well,
fantastic.
I quit taking all my opiates to do um
Yeah,
marijuana therapy,
yeah,
THC
I'm the same
therapy.
as well. Actually, I was
Yeah.
on tramadol for years for
Hmm.
pain. And I started, using
I was
the
on
the
that before they
THC
put me on
medication. I've
opiates.
I've not had to touch it since, which is
Yeah.
amazing, because I actually have a spinal disease as well.
Mm,
Um,
gosh.
my discs bulge and it causes a lot of pain.
I'm sorry.
So, but I've not since I used THC therapy, cannabis and stuff. I don't have to take the
Yeah.
opioids anymore. And I just withdrew from them, but I had no withdrawals at all because I'd started straight with the cannabis, and it really, really helped me. But I wasn't naive enough to think that it was going to help my, with my mental health as well. So I wouldn't even risk trying to come off my tablets to do that, because yeah, yeah, the gummies are really good as well.
I think the
Really, really
gummies are
good.
better, but
Yeah, yeah, they're brilliant. And they're quite widely available all over the world now. Um,
yeah.
yeah, and it does miracles for people.
A
Especially,
friend,
with epilepsy and all that kind of stuff. It's cancer patients, and it's just crazy. But I find it to be amazing, if you want to get off opioid medication, especially, for pain relief, before you go to bed, especially, it's
hmm
amazing. It really is. Um, Sorry, one moment. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat here. Oh, bless. I am Mars Eyes. I hope you're well. Hi, Cisco. Um, yeah, so kind of getting back onto the subject of what we was talking about. Um, I don't think people actually realise that. I think they was saying something like 1 in 5 people suffer with a mental health problem, um, and 1 in 50 seek help.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of people there that don't seek help. You
Right.
know,
It's
um,
sad
and
because mental health providers are getting a lot better, and they have a lot more tools as they over the years they've learned from other people coming in with their disorders how to deal
mhm.
with certain better than they did years ago.
Well, where I'll go now, I'm actually on a study as well,
That's
because
good.
they don't, I live in Ireland, and they've dealt with very few cases of, my illness. So there's a lot of doctors that I'm really interested, just by my illness,
Hmm.
um, and they're great and they help me, and
Yeah, and you're helping other
I'm not
people
sure
too.
if the therapy that she's talking about is the one where Dragonfly was on about the other day, where they kind of they take you into past trauma and bring you back, and this kind of thing. I'm not sure how that kind of works, but my worst times really was on a night time, because things had happened during the night that I had no, I'd pull my hair out in clumps and all sorts, and I wouldn't even know I'd done it. It was crazy. Um,
I had
I'd end up in
eczema real bad
places
when
I
I was
didn't know.
little.
It was so scary sometimes.
Yeah.
But for me myself, this is the reason why I'm here now as well. When my children were, young and growing up, I was petrified to go and get help off anybody. You know, my child's dad, my kid's dad, he's been in jail now for I think maybe 12 years for murder and attempted murder and sexual assault, and
Damn.
a pile of other things as well. What he'd done to me, and then he, went and killed somebody. So I've had to bring up the children as a single parent,
Hmm.
and I was petrified to tell anybody what was going on, because I thought, what if they take my kids? What if they think I'm crazy and they take my kids? And this is where a lot of people kind of get stuck in the pyramid or the circle, and it becomes, it's a vicious circle. And there's a lot of people out there that won't go and seek the help because of that reason. And I understand that, you know. And this is another reason why I urge people to come, and talk to me, because there's, even if it's just a one-to-one with somebody with a bit of experience, and somebody that you can talk to sometimes and let off to, it makes you feel a lot better. And the support groups out there that, these days, there's not so much stigma as what there used to be. You know, when I'm saying 1 in 5 people suffer with a mental health problem, they can't take away 1 in 5 women's children. I mean, what? It's impossible. You know, if you're abusive towards your children or whatever, you know, then, you know, of course. But just because you have a mental illness doesn't mean to say you're a bad parent or a bad
Right.
person.
Having
You know,
children for some people helps them with their mental health because it gives them somebody to love when sometimes
it's
when
so
people are
scary.
lonely and stuff like that, they don't have anybody to love. That's what's making it worse.
It's
I
terrible.
mean, I don't know if I didn't have, Sandra in my life or Trisha's in Wichita, but if I didn't have them in my life,
hmm
I feel like I would probably feel less purpose.
It's horrible. It's a horrible thing. I mean, I was 16 when I had my first child,
Yeah.
um, and that was a kind of a bad situation as well. Um, and kind of she was born with a liver disease as well, so she was very poorly
Mm.
when she was born.
She all right now?
Yeah, she's pretty good now. I mean,
Good.
she's 26 years old.
That's what my
Um,
Otis is.
yeah, she works on TV, so
Wow,
she
cool.
does really well. Yeah, she works as a part of a producing team for Universal, so she does
Nice.
pretty well. But it's
I'm sure
16 a
she's
lot.
beautiful.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, my 2 daughters are beautiful.
Hmm.
And my youngest one, she's 18, and then I've got a son that's 23. Um, but you know, I was so scared. I
Right,
was
I
so
imagine so.
scared of growing up. You know, and I kept
You had to
thinking,
grow up really fast.
yeah, but all that, Ricky, darling, all that was going through my head when I was growing up is that I need help. You know, I need help, and what do I do? You know, what if they think I'm crazy? What if they try and take my kids away from me? And it got worse. You know, it kept getting worse as time was going on, and it was so scary. Um,
It's terrible,
oh
Jackie.
my God, prayers,
Yes, prayers
Jackie,
are.
that's terrible. You know, I mean, uh, if I to just explain just some of the stuff that I've been through, I mean, I could probably write 3 books on the
Yeah.
shit that I've been
I'm
through.
definitely going to write a book one day.
Oh, so
Because
am I. You
I mean,
know
I
what?
sit here and think about the things that I've done in my life,
I
and
would love
like,
for
I
a
can't
ghostwriter
believe.
to reach out. You know that I
Yeah,
could actually work with
that's
to do
cool.
that. But
Yeah,
you know, I've got a lot of a story, a big story. You know, um, my issues. You know, it's not just my mental health. Um, I think I'm quite strong. I'm where I want to be now. You know, I'm confident and I'm happy in myself, and that's because I don't feel like I've got the responsibility to my children so much anymore, so I can get the help I need. You
yeah,
know, and this is how I am today. You know, and I understand it's so hard sometimes, especially when you've got children, especially if you're a single parent. You know,
right.
to reach out to the right people, because again, you know, if you go and you say to them, "Oh, you know, I'm hearing voices or something's going on," and first thing that's going to happen, you're going to think that CPS are going to be involved or social services, and normally there will be, you know, because they have to, you know, they have to make sure the children are okay. I understand that, but that's a scary thing to have to think about when you really, you know, mentally ill. You know,
Yeah,
we
it
take
is.
everything out of contents when we're mentally ill. So, you know, something like that, it roller
Especially
coasts.
people before they find out that they have a mental illness and they don't know understand what's going on. That's very difficult as well. So, and it's nice to have a conversation that is possibly reach people that need to hear that they need to go see somebody if they need help, which I do have. Let me pull up this
This is it. You know.
thing. Well, I can't do it on my computer. Let me find it. The health.org, betterhealth.org. There's
Yeah.
actually, because of the pandemic,
Even if you could just put the link
they
in the.
have they have they have a lot more at where you can call from home into groups that are doing mental health for people at home, so
Right.
that they don't
Okay.
even have to leave their house. Like they have LGBTQ mental health groups that you can call and get on FaceTime with other people that
If you have a
understand
link
and can
to that,
help you.
right?
I can when we get done here, I can like gather. I mean, I'm online
Yeah,
now,
I
so
mean,
I'll
you can
try to
email it
gather it
over
up.
to me if you like, and
I can gather up a lot of. I don't have the link yet, but I'll look it up here.
yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
great.
like yeah, people that
I mean,
don't think somebody will understand. There's a
this
lot
is what I
more
mean.
people that do. Like
You
this
know,
morning, I was watching Luda.
mhm,
She does true crime as well, but she's Muslim and she's
mhm.
very very offended by Nicolina. Her video is by Nicolina. It's actually on my community tab.
I must
But
look.
she goes on to say that she's a behavioral um, psychiatrist, you know,
Yeah, therapist. Yeah.
and people, everybody needs somebody that of their own race, of their own sexuality to talk to get
Mhm.
empathy. You know what I mean? And
It's because
it's
they can
nice that there's
understand.
more and more understanding and
Mhm.
acceptance of mental health, that the profession is getting more notoriety
Mhm.
and getting more budget funding for things such as online
It's
therapy.
because it's a debilitating illness, and
Yeah.
people think that just because you can't see the disability, it's not there. You know, that's very wrong to judge somebody. You know,
Yeah.
in that kind of way, because it's some of the most severe disabilities you cannot see. You know,
Yes. Hmm.
um, and mental health is one of the severest because it's deadly. It's a deadly illness. Could be, anything could set you off, and just like
It's
that,
it's scary too, because if somebody has a manic
it's terrible.
episode, blacks out and leaves their house and does things that they don't know what they're doing, those things
Hmm.
that aren't being treated and you don't know what they are, like it's very dangerous to live a life like that.
It's really scary. When you have no control over over what goes on, we try and be mentally. Most of us do anyway. Mentally, thank you, honest rage.
Hmm.
Um, we try to be mentally prepared for the day, but then one stupid little thing can happen, and that can trigger off a snowball effect. And by the end of the day, you're in a manic rage. You know, bipolar disorder is probably one of the most common of the personality disorders, and it's extreme highs and extreme lows. And I've got a few friends that suffer with bipolar. Um, and my one friend's been hospitalised quite a few times with it, and she's got children. Um, Unfortunately, I mean, she does have access to her children. The children live with her father, which is a good thing because she admits herself when she has, when she's low, she's very low. Um, and then she has mania where she's very, wants to do everything and run around the house and take the kids out and go, and hers came on her bipolar. Excuse me, one second. Came out of nowhere. Um, Sorry, her bipolar came out of nowhere. She kind of um, she was abused and raped by her ex partner, and before that, she never suffered any kind of mental health problem at all. And she was in her 20s when this had happened. I think it was her husband that the problems happened with. The trauma of what happened caused chronic PTSD, which led into bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
It triggered something off in the brain, obviously, and she has a real, it's complete chemical imbalancement. She has to again be medicated. She doesn't feel like she's a danger to her children at all, but she feels like she's a danger to herself when she does, you know. So
Triggers,
yeah, yeah,
not
and
having the coping skills for the
she did the
triggers.
right thing because she had an ex-partner that was really caring and understood the situation. The children's father, he understood the situation, so she was able to have constant contact with the children, and knowing that they was in a safe place, so she could go and get help at a young age. And I mean, she's in her early 30s now, but she's very switched on. She's like me. She kind of she knows she's got a problem. She knows what a problem is. She deals with a problem. She knows she has to take medication. If she doesn't, she knows what's going to happen. But she's come a long, long way in this past 2 years. You see such a difference. And it's really amazing to watch because she was very suicidal at one point. She just did not want to live. And it was so scary to see. You kind of wait for the next morning to see if she's been online or she's been on WhatsApp, just to make sure nothing's happened that day or nothing's happened that night that's triggered it. Hi. Hey, sweetie.
It does
Oh,
take a lot
brilliant.
of. It
Oh, we love
takes
you
a
too.
lot.
I mean, it's a serious thing, and it is
Because
very,
it
like
takes,
I
first
say.
of all, it takes the courage to admit that you have a problem. It's
Mhm.
just like, it's a mental health disease. It's just as debilitating as
But the mental health
like you
problem that you
said,
have,
as an addiction,
yeah, it
because
is.
and it's harder because you're sober with negative self-talk.
I was
You're
just gonna say
sober with
that same thing.
temptations and
Mhm.
things that are going to come up, and then anything, if you know your coping skills for certain triggers, then you know what to do when these things happen and you get overwhelmed.
I
Like,
kind
I
of
know
had
I had a manic episode while I was in Tennessee, and I just totally flipped out and started yelling because
but
that's
you
what I
was
do
really
when I
triggered
get.
though, wasn't you, at that point,
Yeah, yeah, and I it was uncalled for, but I will just, you can't help it, basically. Like,
Mhm.
when I first, after I had my second head injury, and when I first stopped drinking, um, my mind was different because I didn't have the alcohol and I didn't have the same lifestyle. So I had to learn
Mhm.
new coping skills. So it's always changing what you can learn how to do in certain situations.
Mhm.
And
That's it. You need to know what your triggers are as well.
yeah, for
You
sure.
know, that's a really important thing, is knowing what your triggers are.
It's
And
like knowing that your friend doesn't eat
mhm.
meat, so you cook a vegan meal. It's the same for you. You know that if
Yeah.
you listen to this song or watch this movie or see this person, it's going to result in you having a manic episode. You don't do it.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's like me. I cannot watch. Something comes on the television and there's an RIP scene in it, or anything like that. That really, really, really severely triggers me. So I have to get it straight off. I can't watch anything. Or women being abused in general on the
Yeah,
television,
they're
if you see some
banging,
domestic violence or anything like that, that really triggers
shouting.
me.
Hmm.
I was just short on my 18th birthday when I took my bad head injury. And it was after I came out of care, I got into a relationship with a real bastard, and he actually broke my ankles with an hammer and
Damn
my
it.
head. I was tortured for
Oh,
maybe eight
honey.
or 9 hours, held against my will. I was 18 years old, just short of 18 years
I
old.
would kill him.
And he only stopped when he thought I was dead. I
Ugh,
was actually, I was so close to death, it was unreal. And
I'm
then he went
sorry.
and tried to kill himself. And I must have came around, and I don't even remember coming around at all.
It sounds like you're a
And I
magnet for
literally
toxic
dragged my body down the
toxicity.
stairs. There was trails of blood. Dragged my
I'm a
body down the stairs.
yeah, I'm a
Dragged
magnet for
myself outside the house, and it was a
tox
Sunday morning,
what do they call it?
and I had a
Toxicity.
church. Sorry, I had a church over the road from my house, and some of the church people saw me. And if it wasn't for that, I would have been dead. You know. But all I can remember is when I was very little. My granny was the one person that I loved. I watched her die of cancer when I was about 7 or 8 years old. She was the most gentlest soul you could ever imagine in your life. And she used to come up to the bedroom where I was, and she would rub my face like this, and she'd be like, "Come on, Stella, wake up now, come
Oh,
on." And she was so gentle and so beautiful. And I remember that I don't know what's happened there. I think you've dropped down, Rage. Um, Let me get this link back up again. Yeah, so I actually remember getting up off the floor that morning. I didn't actually get up and drag myself, but I was kind of unconscious, and the only voice I could hear in my head was this: "Come on, Stella, wake up, come on, come on." And it was as though I could feel the hand on my face. And how I dragged myself out of that room. Um,
sorry about
I
that.
how I dragged myself out of that room and got down the stairs, and it was crazy. It was as though the front door was actually open by a jar, so I didn't even have to try and stand up to open the door. I could just pull it kind of open with my hands, and I dragged myself outside. And as I said, it was a Sunday morning, so people was going to church. Any other time I would have just been left. Um,
Was it
but
rural? Are you
uh,
in the city?
no, it's not that it's rural. It's just that it was a quiet street.
Oh yeah.
And it was a Sunday morning, so uh,
Well,
you
that's
know,
good. People
I,
going
I
to
could have been,
church.
I could have been there for ages, and another couple of hours, I'd have been dead. I had swelling, to the brain, and there was all sorts of stuff going on. Swelling in the head that was actually, squashing my brain. Literally, it was my skull was smashed.
Oh,
Um, I remember actually when I came around from the hospital, and it was a good while later,
I just
good couple of days before they started to bring me around. Um, and I had complete amnesia at that point. I couldn't remember what had happened, or I knew something had happened, but I just didn't know what. And I had like a drip in my neck at the time, and I woke up when I came around really scared. And I had family members there at the time, and even though me and my mum have had our differences with me growing up, she was actually there. And I remember the doctor coming in and talking to me, and my legs are strapped up and my shoulders strapped up, and everywhere's hurting. I've got bandages around my head. I was
dang.
black and blue from, I
Probably
think
felt
there was
like a bad dream.
something like 68% bruising to my body. It was that
Mm,
bad. I mean, it
I'm
was
sorry.
there was cuts to my body with a knife. It was really bad, and I mean, I was a child still.
Right.
So I've
Yeah.
gone through all this child abuse growing up, and then I went from the the stove into the frying pan. And I was taking advantage of somebody that was looking for somebody very vulnerable, and I was a vulnerable child.
Well, you had brain damage.
Oh gosh, we didn't know. I mean, at the time, they didn't know what kind of brain damage I was going to be left with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Luckily, I didn't notice much. At the time, I didn't. I noticed that when I started to suffer really bad with insomnia. Um, and then I started getting, after that time, then I started getting really bad flashbacks of my childhood, and all this happened after sort of took the smash to the head.
Yeah.
I mean, the doctor, I was saying when the doctor came in at the time, he actually said to me and my family that not that my ankle was broken or my skull was fractured. He said my skull was smashed and my ankles was smashed, and it was a really, it was terrible. It was
You're a
terrible.
walking miracle.
Well, yeah, I mean, that didn't end there. That
Yeah.
unfortunately for me,
Like I
um,
was saying earlier, it sounds like you're a magnet for toxicity. Like
because this is
I've
what I
always been a
mean. You have to
magnet for
break the cycle of
toxicity.
abuse
It's
eventually.
like the more good you
It's
put out, the more you're attacked by other people that don't like that
I was trying
energy.
to explain the other day, right?
Hmm.
The day you leave the victim behind and you become the survivor is when everything changes. While you are
Right.
the victim, you're in a cycle of abuse because you don't know no better.
That's an
It
addiction too,
becomes
playing the victim.
it becomes a routine as well.
Right.
You know, that person becomes a routine, you know, and
It
you
does.
kind of used to it. But when you grow up and you grow up in a family like I grew up in, and there was a lot of violence, with men and women, my aunties and uncles would fight, my parents would fight. So, you know, when I kind of entered a relationship, that's what I expected. That's what I thought a relationship was. So the
Yeah.
first time I kind of, you know, um, I mean, it was probably a couple of months in. The first time, I was actually beat up, and I mean, I don't mean slapped, I mean beat up. And, you know, I didn't tell nobody because you didn't. I could always remember them saying, what happens in this house stays in this house. You don't tell nobody nothing, you know. And I just thought to myself, I've gone through all this shit growing up, and this is what my life's going to be like,
I feel
and
that
I
way
lived like
too.
that for 3 years
Yeah.
almost until he tried to
I
kill
still
me.
feel that way just because like the first injury that I got was my knee. He kicked me in the knee from front to back. So
Mm,
instead of bending in the front, it was bent towards the back. So I was off my feet for a long time and I never did physical therapy for that, but it's always slipped. Like it's always slipped out of joint. And I worked construction after that, like for
mhm.
years. And then I got the MRI done and come to find out there's not even an ACL in there. It's bone on bone. The
Oh
only
my
thing that's holding it together is arthritis and bone spurs.
Is it
So
did the diagnose it with what's the one now? Osteoarthritis, isn't it, I
I
think?
have that. Yeah, I do have
Yeah,
that.
I've got that as well.
Hmm.
Due to a
But
lot of my past injuries.
right, yeah, and my neck too. My neck is where I sustained the where he stomped on my head and the other guy dragged me down the steps by my hair. That
Mm,
was that the and like I said, after that last one is when my mind really started to change because I can't remember things. I thought it was the drinking. And then they say like after you get sober, it takes years for your body to really be sober. To like
it's
get
like,
all of it out.
um, I mean, it's so hard. It's just so hard because I was trying to explain the other day. I think about drug addicts. Um, and unfortunately, most drug addicts start off mentally ill, and the reason they become drug addicts is because they find their drug of choice that
Hmm.
takes away the pain that they feel.
Exactly.
I mean,
Alcohol
look
was that for me.
look at me. I am absolutely covered in tattoos, and most of them are to hide scars. You know,
Yeah.
most of them are. I was covered. I still am
Well,
covered
your
in
scars are
scars.
beautiful. Your scars are beautiful.
And it is now. I can look at them and I can be proud of them. I've got scars on my face, and
Well,
I look at them
I was
now and I don't
burned.
I
I was
don't look
burned
at
by
that and feel sad anymore, you
so
know.
I was burned at 11 months old, so I don't even know what my legs looked like before I was
Mhm.
burned.
It's not
So
nice.
they're normal for me, you know. That was what I was bullied about a lot when I was young. I never
Mhm,
had a boyfriend in school or anything like that
mhm.
because nobody wanted to date me because I had everybody bullying me for the scars on my legs. So it was
It's
just, I
horrible.
think it was better for me to not be involved in any relationships with people though, because when
That's
I finally did, was like able to use discretion, or
mhm.
what's the word I'm looking for? Um, to take my time,
Yeah.
especially now. Like if I ever, like right now, I feel like I'm demisexual because asexual and demi because I don't even think about sex because it's been not a part of my life for
Mhm,
so long, and demi because if I ever did have a relationship again, it would
mhm.
have to be somebody that I was fully into emotionally too, that
100%.
I could trust, like somebody that I could really feel
Yeah,
like I could trust. And it would
100%.
take time. It would take
It
time to
does.
gain
It just takes
trust
a long time, you know.
because look how some people, like in the last year that I've known some people and I really trusted them,
Mhm.
and it still like backfired on me trusting
That's
people.
that's that's what I mean. I mean, what makes us so susceptible to well, definitely not me so much now, but a lot of people that are mentally ill, what makes them susceptible to people, to narcissists and
Yeah,
sociopaths, is they thrive in controlling. And sometimes when you kind of you get I think we get you get it depends on what kind of age you are, but you get past the stage where you feel like you need somebody to prop you up because you've been through that much in life. You're
yeah.
perfectly propped up by yourself,
And
and it's
my love languages are acts of service,
mhm,
touch, and I'm not really sure what they would be now, but I know for
exactly.
sure those
Mhm.
because that's how I love my children. And I want to be in a relationship, not anything weird. I want to be in a relationship like I am with my children. I can tell them anything
Yeah, it's
and
like
I trust them
yeah,
not to hurt me.
I understand that. I understand.
Yeah.
Completely understand that. I do.
I can't wait. I have faith. Like I'm manifesting a prince or even a king at this point. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready
That's
for,
what you deserve. That's what you deserve.
yeah. And I
You know,
don't want to be
you
codependent like
shouldn't.
I've been in the
Nobody,
past.
nobody should have to settle.
Right.
Nobody should ever have to settle.
And
You
I'll
should
wait.
be.
My granny, after her second marriage, after um, her real love of her life, because my granddaddy was awful to her.
Mhm.
But well, after he died, she was single for the rest of her life. And I wouldn't mind if I had to be. I would rather be single for the rest of my life
Yeah, so would
than to
I.
be hurt again.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way about that.
Yeah,
Again, that's where my detachment disorder can come in as well because I can kind of I can't not so much detach myself. Yeah, I can detach myself from toxic people now.
that's how.
I see the signs
Yeah,
and
that's
I
how.
can just do it. Whereas before, I would kind of be drawn a little bit into it because I think when you've had such a rough time, you're always looking out for somebody to save as well. You always feel like you need to, oh well, they've had a rough time as well, and this is why they're like this. You need to stop thinking about why they are abusing you and what's making them abusive, and think about yourself
Exactly.
and get the hell out of there.
And then help other women do the same.
You
I've
know,
always wanted to help other women
it's
because
right.
it's just been I always helped my mom, and I have
Yeah.
a deep empathy for women that have been hurt. So,
So do I. So do
yeah.
I. I mean, it comes natural. That comes natural to
Hmm.
me, and I suppose with you as well because
Yeah.
you're
Watching my mom be
yeah,
abused and then
exactly.
being abused by
you're just naturally an
Yeah.
empathetic person,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be the same. But being naturally empathetic can put us in vulnerable situations, and
Yes.
we have to kind of guard ourselves from those situations. And this goes for everybody out there as well, But we have to be able to guard ourselves from toxic people and toxic relationships. And we have to know that we can't save everybody. We can only save people that want to be saved, you know, and we can only help people that want to be helped. But if anybody does anything to you, there should never ever be an excuse for somebody's behaviour if they're violent or they're controlling
I
or
hope you can't hear my stomach growling.
dinner time. No, you've got to really you've got to really set the bar, when you've been hurt so much, and your whole life has been based around abuse. You have to put that guard up and guard yourself.
Yeah.
And then
Like with the manifesting, I'm manifesting somebody
exactly.
that also has scars and we
Hmm.
can help each other.
That's it. That's what it's about. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of the caterpillar to the butterfly kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. I think we lay dormant for a long time, and then
I
when we're
think
ready, we
so.
come out, and that's what I've done. That's what I've done with this channel as well. Um,
Yeah,
it's took me a long
really
time to
it's
be able
going along
to,
good too.
of course, yeah.
I
It's
feel
took-
really comfortable up here. I'm grateful that you've given me the ability to
oh, I love
come up
having
here
you
and
up
chat
here
at
as
you.
well. You know,
Yeah.
good evening, AP. I love having you up here as well because I want
We
people up
have a
here
lot in
that kind
common.
of that have
Yeah.
different I'm not saying different types of mental illnesses, but people have different experiences, and
Hmm.
people have different
Different
illnesses, different
versions.
types of mental illness. Like I
Yeah.
said, you can get a narcissistic personality disorder, and they will always blame somebody else for what's happened to them. As Hoove said earlier on, a narcissist is born, a sociopath is created. Normally by the circumstances that surround them. Um,
What's dangerous though is
oh,
the
it's very
narcissist
dangerous.
sociopath. And
Mm,
that is that's not a
that is the
trifecta,
worst.
but
I mean,
it's
it
bigger
would be
than
the
a
worst out
trifecta.
of all
It's the
personality
biggest.
disorder in
Yeah.
traits. It would actually be the worst. I
I
mean,
feel
so
like I've
yeah, I
met him
think I
before.
think Benny, when he actually came on saying that he was a sociopath, I don't
I
think he was
saw
doing
that one.
himself any favors by doing that at all.
Hmm.
You know,
I was like, what?
no, God, no. I mean, he's done himself no favors by doing that, because then that goes to show that what he's doing now is just fake. you know,
It
because
is.
that's what a sociopath does. They're like chameleons. They change to the environment. If it's not working for them, they'll move on to the next victim, or they'll
Yeah.
move on to the next scam, or they'll
I
move on to
guess
the next, you
look,
know.
the way I feel about Benny in my situationship is that although I wasted a lot of time defending him and protecting him
Hmm.
and revolving my day around his lives or whatever, and but at the same time, I learned a lot because he is a wise person at points,
Yeah.
and I was able to actually find a like mind that I could bounce off of in that
Hmm.
aspect. But
But
other
that's
than that, I
really good.
really feel like I
That's
was ripped off.
manipulation as well, though.
Yeah, I was ripped
That is
off.
the manipulation part of it.
Right.
I mean, we heard off Stormer the other night, when she was over with Duke, of how much money that she'd actually sent over to him, and everyone was making out like she was the one and only, and having one-to-ones with her and all this, like. But
Who's that?
this was
Oh
Stormy.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
But apparently there was a hell of a lot of them that he was doing it with, kind of making these
Right,
women,
yeah.
putting the women in this category of making them feel like them the only person that, he's kind of got
well, he's
around
a
him.
mama's boy. He knows how to sweet talk a woman.
Oh, of course. Well, again, that's the trait of a sociopath.
Yeah. And
The
it's
very easy
it's
talkers,
not
the
nice.
charmers, they're actually charmers.
Portray on the like
The vulnerable,
people who really care about Summer and want to see justice for her and want to find
Yeah,
answers for her.
yeah, and want to
And
help.
in the meantime, all you really have cared about is how many numbers you've got and how much money's
Yeah,
in your pocket.
but this is why he said at the start, before the Summer Wells case, and he'd said it to, I can't remember who it was he actually said it to now, because the person had reached out to me, and he actually said that if you want to start a YouTube channel and make money, find a missing kids case.
Mm-hmm.
This was back, I think, when he did the Cash Gurning case.
Yeah, supposedly it was about what Molly Golightly was doing.
Oh, right.
And he was just saying what she was doing, but I didn't see it, so I don't really know.
Apparently, he'd actually said this before as well, So he knew what. Hello, Queen Latifah. He knew what he was doing when he went after this case. Like I says, he had somebody working with him at the time. It was probably Fizzle, I don't know. Somebody had befriended Donald Wells on Facebook. I mean, I don't use Facebook anymore at all, but at the time I was using it to see, what was going on. And this girl, I noticed that every day was posting, because you had to be friends with Donald to post anything on his wall, was posting videos of Benny Keys on there. And this is how people started to follow him. And obviously Donald's seeing that this guy is standing up for him while everybody else is calling him all sorts of murderers under the sun.
He went straight to the meat. He didn't fiddle around with the salt and the veggies.
Oh, yeah, he went straight for the steak, and this is what
sorry
people
to hear
don't
that,
understand
Queen.
now, is this is what he's trying now. He made a video about Candace's life yesterday. Why is he so concerned?
So, maybe she just wanted to see who would react. Like, it's her business. It doesn't have anything to do with him.
He should be nowhere near it.
People that think that everything that happens in the world revolves around how Benny feels about it,
but this
is really sad.
This is where this redemption thing is coming from. This is what I'm trying to explain to people. He's doing all this redemption thing, and I am the big change man, because Donald Wells is out of jail in 6 weeks, or out of rehab, or the centre is out in 6 weeks' time. Have you noticed she's gone really, really, really quiet about the Sandman? Tim Mullen, there's not a lot coming out about him at the moment, but he's still working really heavily.
And what about these phones that he was going to get them phones?
Oh,
like, he ain't said a word about the phones in months.
But how do we know as well that wasn't another ploy for a distraction?
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what I mean?
It'd be really interesting to find out what's on the phone.
Well, it would be very interesting.
What I'm just saying is that he doesn't he stays on topic long enough to see if it makes money. If it doesn't, he moves on.
He moves on, yeah. Like, he'll start moving on from Jodie Sue Brown now, because everybody's heard everything about it. We've heard
Everybody's
it all.
Talking about her. It's nothing spectacular.
Nobody can understand what she's saying. She's asleep half of the time that she's on the computer. Does she take drugs, or is it a medication that she's on, or what it is?
I think some of it's medication and some of it's just
the
way that she holds her mouth. She doesn't open her teeth very wide when she speaks, and she has big lips, so she's not opening. She's not doing enough out because she's talking like this. She talks more with her nose and her throat instead of her mouth.
Weird. Benny's on site, mate. Let's see. Yeah, we know that he's on site meds. He's actually got schizophrenic disorder, and he openly admits being a sociopath. So I don't think he did any favors by coming out proudly saying he was a sociopath.
Other
Maybe he
people
didn't do
called him a
enough research
CI.
into what a sociopath is, before he came out and said it. I don't know.
He's
Um,
just a tattletale is what he is.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then I can't believe that you did that. Like, how about you ask me what's happening instead of going right to believing that, like I
It's
don't know. Somebody
disgusting.
tries to come off like the smartest man in the world, does some dumb shit sometimes.
But this is what I mean. He plays with word spaghetti and he says
Yeah.
long words that are just completely ridiculous most of the time. They don't even exist to make himself sound intelligent. And I'm not saying he's not an intelligent person, you know. Um, he's obviously intelligent enough to be able to manipulate thousands of people. So, you've got to give
Mhm.
him his dues. He's intelligent. And the way he's worked through the Stonewall's case, the research, I know that most of his mods do his research for him, so he can't take credit for that.
I'm not saying he's not intelligent. I'm just saying that he he
Dedicated as
wants
a
he
way would
wants
work,
everybody
you
else
know.
to quote unquote be on the level,
And
and
if you're not
he
on his level,
himself does
then
not stay on the level.
he's
So
is
it's
there's
hypocritical.
yeah. There's he is actually he has a serious
Yeah, I do, Luna.
identity disorder as well, I believe. I believe he has an identity disorder.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, I don't know what it is with him. It's like he doesn't want to be white or be associated with being white or Caucasian. I don't understand what it is. What this big fascination is.
I
Um,
think racism is just stupid.
so
It's
do
like
I.
it
It's
goes both
completely
ways
stupid.
too.
It's completely
Like it
stupid. But I also hate people when they try and be something than they're not. I actually, my family is biracial as well.
yeah.
And sometimes it comes off offensive
I mean, at
when
this point in the
people,
world, like as the majority of us are mixed. Like
of
nobody is
course,
white.
hmm
Like I unless they were hidden away somewhere with Norse gods in the high
yeah,
north.
yeah, Vikings, yeah, that's
Like
right.
nobody is yeah. It's just
But
silly.
I really do believe
Yeah,
he has
I believe that too,
an
Luna.
identity disorder because he probably doesn't like the person he actually is.
Izzy too. Izzy lied. She thought she was gonna be
Mm,
top mod, I feel like.
mm.
And I know
This
that and that's the
sorry.
thing, like she was my friend at one point, and then I started seeing signs of her mental illness that were not something that I was particularly attracted to. And then I really realized it when I finally met her that it's not somebody that I would choose to spend time with just because of the way that she acts. It had to,
Hmm.
I mean, and
Yeah.
then to her to turn around and lie about the way that I treated her, I was still nice to her. I
No,
wasn't a bully
I
to
don't
her.
really have
I
much
mean,
time for
like
that, to be
I'm
honest.
just a what my dad gave me a compliment one time. He called me a hard ass. And I always thought that he felt that I was a weak person. And I mean,
Mhm,
because of the way that he treated me when I was young.
mhm,
But it was, I mean, I don't mean to be a hard ass, but sometimes after everything that I've been through in the past, that's the only way that I
it's
know
survival,
how to
isn't it?
talk.
It's
Like,
survival.
and then, like I said earlier, my filter is not very, like, I don't get tongue twisted as much with you, but I was getting tongue twisted somewhere yesterday. And I just, I don't know. See this, like this whole sentence that I put out just now, I went from three different topics, and that's just what I do all the time.
Mhm.
Like, it's hard to pay attention and stay centered. But
Yeah, yeah. Again, that
well, Luna was talking about um, Nick Lena and the situation that happened with me.
mhm.
I think Izzy was telling her shit, and that's what she told Benny. And
Right.
like the other girls that were there, I know that Dutch told him that I said he was selfish. I never said that. I said he was self-absorbed. That's
And
quite
it is.
different.
It is.
Different. Yeah.
He is
And
very
then
self-absorbed.
like I wasn't lying. Like I was being honest to, like, about how I felt about stuff, and I wasn't being hateful. I don't think I was just being my hard ass self. And it would seem like, you don't know people. It would seem like you get to know somebody for a few days, then
Hmm.
you really have an understanding of whether or not you like that person or not.
Of
So
course.
I
Of
think
course.
people just decided they didn't like me, so they were going to talk shit about me so
Hmm.
that they could get me out of the way.
But it's like that's like the new kid that comes in, that's how it works. They'll do what they can to push you away. I mean, you're one of my mods. I've got Long Gone, I've got Hooves, I've got a few of you, and
Yeah,
but I trust all of you. I know that if you're timing people out, or even if you have to block somebody, I know you're only doing it to protect the chat, and I
yeah.
trust my mods. I don't keep swapping and changing mods. I wouldn't do that because I like to have a relationship with the mods I've got, and it kind
Oh
of
no,
it
Hoofs.
works really well.
I'm under.
Um,
I go to Maryhaven. I went there because it's right down the block from where I moved, and
mhm,
there's this sweet lady that I talk to every couple weeks named Lauren, and then there's a nurse practitioner that issues my medication. I speak to her once a month, but I see Lauren every couple weeks, and it seems like God has really blessed me with um, therapists that I've gotten along well enough to where I felt comfortable enough, and it have helped me be more vocal in the world, because when I was little, I didn't talk to anybody.
mhm.
Now that I can speak, it's hard to
Now
shut
you
me
find
up.
your voice. You don't,
Yeah,
it's hard to, of course, because there's so much you want to
yeah.
say. Everything gets built up, I think, doesn't it? And
I
when
started
you
going to
actually
therapy
find
at
your voice, you want
14.
to get everything out all at once.
Yeah.
You know, my hooves has just asked a question there for you, Rage.
That's
I don't
what
know if you want to
I was
answer.
telling her. I was answering her question with that.
Right. Um, I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of at all. Being
Thank you
medicated is
guys.
nothing to be
Yeah,
ashamed
it's
of.
not. That's how I feel about it. Like, it's nothing to be admitting it makes makes you look more of a stronger person to be able to
Yeah, and it
admit it,
lifts that weight off your shoulder. You're not carrying that weight anymore,
right? And you're not
because then
hiding who
people
you are.
understand that if you're not okay that day, why you're not okay that day, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's exactly what it is as well,
Thank you
Luna.
guys.
No, she thought she was an alpha until she encountered me.
Um,
Bitch.
See, I believe we have an alpha tribe, and
Mhm,
I hang out with alphas, but I do
mhm,
like sigmas. I like sigma men because I can tell them
mhm,
what to do, but that's something I need to change, I guess.
mhm.
Like,
Well,
I've always dug the sigma men, the ones that were hanging out with us alpha, but
yeah.
because they were their loyal friend, I would
Mhm.
always go for that one.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
the
Luke,
a
not
lot of us
Bo,
are
Luke.
kind of we have all have different kind of personalities, don't we? And we get, some of us are like,
Yeah.
uh, some of us are natural, like, kind of leaders, and
And at the end of the day, Stella, haven't you felt better that we've been able to talk and get these things
so
out
much
and
better,
and have all these people in chat,
so
uh,
much better. But
meeting each other and having
yeah,
somebody to talk to? Yeah,
but me and you
a lot
discussing,
better than calling somebody out on their
oh,
bullshit
of
and being a
course,
bully.
of course, but at the same time, I will still address a bully. That
Right.
that is 100%.
I'm not
Um,
being mean. I'm just calling a spade a
But,
spade.
me and Honest Rage, we've had, we swap emails as well, and, you
Yeah.
know, we've got a lot in common in the sense that we both have past trauma, and as we're up here and we're talking about
Hi,
it,
Jen.
um, we have people in the chat that I'm saying, "Oh my God, I went through this," or "My daughter's going through this," and, you know, we're kind of giving off, what we've been through and how we cope, I think, as well, our coping mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we have to be medicated, just to keep things
Hello,
right, but
Goose.
I have a lot of coping mechanisms that I use.
Yeah.
Grounding is one of them.
What is it?
Grounding. I find that you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
oh god,
Yeah.
socks and shoes off. Just
Mm-hmm.
even if it's the wettest of days, and just stand in the grass, just
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes,
I
and
love
just
to
feel
go
the
through
earth around
puddles.
you, or get into the sea and just feel the water around you. That's the best therapy you could ever
Mm-hmm.
get.
Nature.
Just to feel nature is an amazing therapy. It really is. And I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of water around me. I mean, we live in Ireland, so we're completely covered. Beautiful beaches, beautiful
Amen,
fields,
Queen.
and beautiful forests. But the first chance I get, I take my socks and shoes off, and I actually
I
ground
dreamed
myself
about
in
that
that.
last night. That's funny. I dreamed about being barefoot in the store, and everybody's like, "Where's your shoes?" I'm like, "I never wear shoes." Because when I'd grown up in Tennessee, I never wore shoes, and
No,
it's
I
funny.
hated wearing shoes when I was young. I've always hated wearing shoes. I
Hmm.
I've always felt better barefooted,
Hmm.
always. Oh, thank
I
you,
would skateboard
Luna.
barefooted, and people would be like, "You're crazy. You're gonna get your feet tore up." Well, I don't
Yeah,
care. I don't like to be. I could skate better barefoot
yeah, I can do
because that's
anything
how I
barefoot. I can
learned.
run, and I just love it. I actually love it, and just
Here,
sometimes as well,
gal.
just lying in the grass, when it's
Hmm.
just it's so much more comfortable than it's just staring at the stars sometimes,
And even
you know.
animals are
And
grounding when you have
these are all
animals.
grounding techniques that I've
Yeah.
found helps me, you know.
Talking to your animals
Yeah,
is a grounding
talking to
thing,
your
I think.
animals.
Hmm.
If it's in the daytime, if you just take your socks and shoes off and go outside and just
Hmm.
just walk in the grass in your bare feet,
Good to
walk in
see
the
you, hair
dirt,
gal.
even feel the earth, get in the sea if you live local to a beach, and you know, even if you're sitting back on a chair on a night time and you're looking up at the stars and you're taking in the cosmos around you, you're
Mm.
grounding yourself. You know, you're there at that place in time and you're grounding yourself. And I find that helps with my detachments as well. If I feel like um, you know, you kind of learn to know your signals, and when things are about to trigger or happen, and quickly I know that I've learned techniques. Say if I'm having a panic attack or something like that, breathing techniques, and
Amen, Queen.
all this kind of stuff that I've had to learn over the last 30 odd years. I mean, I'm 43 now, and probably from the age of I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was very young. That was because I was going through so much as a child. They just thought I was a problem child. So
Yeah.
ADHD was a good label to stick on somebody. Um, and it was, well, I refused to be medicated for it when I was young. Um, but from a really young age, I started learning techniques that made me feel better, and it was mostly to do with animals. I was fortunate enough to have a farm right behind us, right behind my nan's house and my mum's house. When I was very young, and I used to go over and play with the horses, or I used to have this one cow in particular. There was one cow that used to look for me every day when I used to walk to school, and it used to look for me so I could feed it my apple, and it would
Hmm.
wait for me. Honestly, this one cow, and if I didn't see that cow on a morning, I'd have a really bad day. It was like I had to see
Oh,
that cow to make myself, and
right.
it was amazing, but that was my kind of therapy. I used to go and sit over the farm in the middle of the fields, and the animals would literally come to me. You know,
Sanders is stuffed animals.
birds. I always found that birds came to me.
Yeah,
Literally
birds and
land on me.
squirrels. We've got ravens
squirrels,
outside right
yeah,
now that are hanging out because I went out and fed
anything.
them all sunflower seeds the other day.
Yeah, nature is one of the best. It's not a cure. It's not a cure, but nature is one of the best remedies for anxiety, I believe. I've lost you again, Rage. I'll put the link in case you want to come back up. Um, there's so much you can do to kind of ground yourself. Um, oh, hey girl. There's so much you can do to kind of, ground yourself and guide yourself into safety. And it takes a long time to get to um, that position where you can kind of um, do that. You can actually ground yourself. The worst thing I ever found with my illness was not knowing how I got to a place or not knowing what could have happened to me. Or knowing that something really bad's happened to me, but not knowing what it was, because I disassociate myself. We've got Rage back up.
I think my phone overheated.
Oh, right. I know we've got you up.
Just sitting on it.
Yeah, we've just gotta, as a, just be a community, and I'm glad we've got Rage up as well, because we kind of work on two different time zones as well. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not about doing a live, then you might be able to catch Honest Rage
Sure.
doing a live, and we communicate with each other as well. So, and there's a lot of us out there that really do want to do good in the community. It's not all about um, how many subs we've got. It's about the subs that we've got that need us.
Right. For
Um,
sure.
and that's more important to me than a sub count. Everybody's worried about how many thousands of people they've got sub to them or whatever. And to me that's not what it's about, because I don't want fame. I want to be able
I'm
to help
excited about
people.
having an income,
You know, it's nice to be
but
able to. I mean,
that's
it's
the only
great to be able to have a
because
sub to
I
size.
mean, no matter how you cut it, Google is a business platform and its
Hmm.
purpose is for people to make money.
Of
I
course,
mean,
yeah,
n- and I understand taking the monetization down for like certain children missing cases and like things like
yeah.
that. But
Hmm.
other than that, it's supposed to be where you make money.
Yeah,
Like,
of course, of course. They'll,
and
they'll
I'm
try as
excited
hard
to
as they
have,
can for
I'm
you not
excited
to.
about it. Like, yeah. Oh,
I
and
mean,
that's another thing
go on.
that I appreciate Benny for is the fact that making videos of him and stuff like that when he was doing good things got me a lot of subs.
Hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not totally ungrateful for him,
no, no, not at
but
all.
yeah,
I
he's
mean,
just a butthole.
we all have. Yeah, he's an asshole. He is. You can swear if you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. So one of my
um,
mottos is all women are bitch heads, all women are bitches, all men are dickheads, and we're all
yeah,
assholes.
I'll call them wankers.
Wankers. Wankos.
Wankers. Of course,
Yes.
that's what I call Benny when I speak to him. Wanker. Hooves has just dropped on his
Thank you,
Rage's link
Hooves.
in the chat as well. So if anybody is not subbed up to her, even people that watching after the live, I will put a link into the chat so you can go and sub up with her as well. And I will just say as well, with the smaller channels like what we've got now, I'm not monetized at the moment. Are you monetized at the moment, Rage? I think you
No,
are.
I am at 3,000.6 hours.
Right, so you're not
So
far off then.
yeah, I've
Uh,
got
so
I've got 1075 subs and 3.6 out
it's crazy because we have
thousand
to.
hours.
People think as well it goes, but once you get 1,000 subs, you get it straight away. It
You
doesn't
have to
work
have the
like that. You
hours
have
and
to do
stuff.
so many hours of videos, and it's kind of.
Thank you guys.
Oh, thank you, Queen Latifah. Thank you very much.
I
That's why I'm
appreciate
not.
you.
It doesn't bother me how many subs I have as such. It's just, I'd rather have quality than quantity. I know that I've got quality
Right.
people in my chat. They're not trolling each other. they're helping each other, they're talking to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to worry about watching the chat
Yeah,
because I
we
know
haven't
my
had
mods
one.
are doing the job, and we
Yeah.
haven't got those sort of people, the trashy sort of people that come in to cause, problems.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing, that is really amazing. But as I was saying, we're small channels and we're not monetized at the moment. And kind of, if you want to support the channels, then that we have cash apps and PayPals and stuff. Don't give what you can't afford, obviously, but it helps us to be able to do the work we do because I'm self-employed artist anyway, so I work a lot from
Yeah.
home. But I'm taking a lot of time out my day work now to
Right.
be able to. But I'm really enjoying it, so I'm getting really into it, and then kind of my work's taking a bit of a back burner at the moment. But so you kind of get that, but it to me it's really worth my while doing, for the
Yeah.
fact that I can reach out and help people.
Like even for me, even the small amounts count because I'm able
Of
to
course, yeah, even $1 or
contribute
$2 or
contribute
whatever,
to Sundra. Sundra,
of course, because it all
she
adds up at
pays
the
for,
end.
I pay for the food and then she pays for whatever else is
Hmm.
needed for the house
But we also have like, I mean,
because
we
I
have
get
to
the
pay
SNAP.
for our stream yards and the video
Oh
editing
yeah, I want to
softwares and
get,
stuff we use. You know,
yeah,
we pay for all that as well, and we do this to keep our channels going, which that's because we want the channels out and we want to keep them going. But it's kind of hard. I was having the conversation with Bob the other day, and they're trying to build their channel to the best of their abilities as well, and they're taking a lot of time and out of their days as well. And I do understand it is really, really time consuming doing this. But you've got to have a passion for it as well, haven't you? You've got to have that
yeah.
passion.
There needs to be inspiration.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Again, my email address. I've just pinned it up there now. My email address also scrolls across the bottom. It's my PayPal address and my email address, so you can get through to me on that. And I do answer every single one of my emails. It doesn't matter who it's from, even if it's from a troll and I'm telling them to F off. I
I do
answer my
too.
emails. But we're setting out. Um, you know, we're doing what we're setting out. Well, yeah, I'm doing what I'll say out, what I wanted to say out to do, and to to have a safe place for people to come and be able to talk freely, and not have to worry. But at the same time as well, people are getting bullied out there. I want people to be able to come to us and say, look, this person, or this creator has done this to me, or I've been scammed, or and we can run if we've got the factual, evidence of what, whatever it is. I mean, I always say, if you're going to come at me, come correct, because we can't just run with people's stories. We can't. That wouldn't be responsible of us. We have to kind of look into everything. Um, and I mean, this last 2 days, I think I've done something like 18 hours, non-stop, emailing and research and trying to contact people. And I was so triggered by the Michael Monkey Vaughan case and Benny apparently trying to get
Mm-hmm.
his hooves into that. I couldn't
He's so obvious.
no, but it really made me really determined to reach out to the family. I have reached out to somebody that is involved in the case, and I think they're already fully aware of Benny Keys and what he's done. So I don't think they'll fall for the redemption. Ah, that's okay, Lynn. We'll see you very soon. I don't think that
Oops.
people's going to fall for the redemption. I'm a changed man kind of shit, because, as we know, and people like me that I'm exposing him. This isn't is not his first rodeo. 3 cases that man's been involved in and just turned upside down so far. We can't let him be involved in another child's case. If he wants to go and look for missing people, then go and look for missing adults. There's millions of missing adults out there. You know, don't be near a missing child's case, because he just doesn't have the empathy or compassion to be able to do that. He just does not have that. And you know, he fucks up a lot of cases, and he fucks up a lot of good things that could have happened, because it's not him that's doing it, if you understand what I mean. You
Yeah.
know, some people have gone out there and they've really tried to do good things, and Benny is like, you know, he's jumped on him like a pack, you know, and his crew have jumped on him like a pack of hyenas, and you know, done everything to discredit these people, and it's horrible. It's horrible, and
It isn't
it's not just
amazing
Dan
how they
he's
can
done it
think
to. It's not just Dan
one
he's done it
show
to.
that
He's
they
done
can
it to
get
so many
serious.
people.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's crazy to think that that
my
on
God,
one night
Ricky.
they can sit and degrade Jody Sue the whole time, and then the next night we're supposed to take them serious as profilers.
Right, yeah.
Like, you were just really disgusting and hateful to a woman for hours, and now you
Yeah.
want us to trust what you think about. It's just,
I've lost Ricky apparently. Hang on, let me just see. No, he's not blocked. Oh, he's not in the time out. He should be here. No, Ricky's here.
yeah, exactly, here, gal. A lack of consistency.
Yeah, yeah. I accidentally hid. Oh, you accidentally hid him.
I didn't
And
see. I was going back looking. I didn't see where it was hidden, but
no,
let me
I
see if
can't
I
see
can
him.
unhide him. Did you already unhide him?
Let's see.
Let me see.
Hmm.
Unhide. I got it.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay.
Are you with us, Ricky? Sorry about that, sweetheart. Nah, yeah, it's definitely not BK's first entanglement at all.
It's like he does it because everybody doesn't want him to do it.
Mhm.
And if he wasn't so shady about the way that he um, presented his channel, then he could do cases around him without people
That's what
coming
I
after
mean.
him.
But go and do it around adults. Go and find missing adults. You know, go and look on
Right.
cold cases of people that have, you know, been missing for a long time, instead of inserting yourself into current affairs of you know, children's fucking missing children's cases. You know, you can't, you just can't insert yourself into something like that, you know, especially with the kind of personality he's got. Oh, yeah, we've got Ricky back, everybody.
Mm.
We can see you, Ricky. We can see, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of us, I say, there's a lot of us out here, there's a lot of us in the chat. There's 1 in 5 adults suffer, you know, with mental health problems, and we just, you know, myself, Honest Rage, we just want to be a community where people feel safe, and you know, just be there and just be helpful and, you know, relevant to people, and understand as well that you're not going to be judged over here. And if you ever want to come up to speak, we don't have to show your face. You know, we don't have to put your name up. You can speak freely. You know, if you just want to come for advice, we've got a fantastic chat of people that would be giving advice that have gone through so much. You
Yes,
know,
that's right.
and that you know, it's nice to be able to get a panel as well where somebody could come up and get advice and get help. I mean, obviously, Honest Rage, she's in the USA, so any kind of
And I've been in
organisation.
therapy for years. My last therapist says pretty soon you're going to be the one in here given
The boss.
therapy,
Yeah,
which
yeah, that's
it's
how it's
very nice
done.
to hear that. Like,
Hmm.
even though I do go see a therapist, I can pretty much.
But
It's
you
nice to have
see,
somebody
a
to talk
therapist
to.
now.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just for me, it's somebody to talk to that
exactly,
has a clinical
exactly.
sense
But for
of
them people that don't have that
response.
therapist to talk to,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
this is a safe place for them to come, um, and be able to talk, with people that have experience. You know, people that have experience with mental health, domestic violence, child abuse.
And
You
definitely
know,
we have the desire to help and do what we
and the
can if you need
passion to
it.
do it as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a passion. I've worked over the years with different charities as well, domestic violence charities, women's aid, that kind of thing. I worked as an appropriate adult for a while, and that was kind of an appropriate adult would be, somebody um, that's a victim of a crime, maybe a child or maybe a rape victim or something. And an appropriate adult is somebody that will go in and support that person or that child. If they've got learning disabilities and stuff like that, it's to kind of explain to them the situation and what was going on. I found that quite hard. That was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do, because to deal with, to support a child that's gone through, very similar things to what I'd gone through as well. I just found it very upsetting. Not so much triggering, but just to see another child as sad as I was is just really downhearting. And then I started working with adults. And I work with all different sorts of people and all different sorts of mental health illnesses, some good, some very, very bad. Um, you're not a bad
That's right.
person
That's
automatically
what
because you've got a mental health problem.
another
But a
thing
lot
that
of
helps you, makes you a
mhm,
survivor, is helping
mhm,
other people through
that's it,
what
that's
you've
it. And I
experienced.
just
And
want to help people to leave the
yeah.
victim behind,
Hmm.
and become the survivor, because it's only when you reach that part of your life where you're the survivor, you actually have control of your life. That is when you take the reins and you start to control your life. And it's an amazing feeling, and it's a feeling that I waited maybe 37 years to get, and when it came, it was just, oh, and the weight that lifted off my shoulders. And I can't even explain it. I couldn't tell you a day it happened. It just happened, you know?
Yeah.
And it was kind of, within a week, I kind of, what's going on with me? What is going on with me? And I didn't have this sense of, um, I wouldn't say that I was a victim anymore. I would say I'm not, the first thing that I say to people when I explain my story, and I've had a few interviews, and they'll pull me on and they'll say we've got a victim of domestic violence and child abuse or whatever. And the first thing I do when I actually, speak on the interview is I'll just one moment. I am no longer a victim. I'm a survivor. I left the victim behind, you know, and that's what
I
you
was
have to
just
do
thinking
to move
that.
on.
Yeah. Mars House, I think that's when I had the best counseling, is when I got to San Francisco. I was ready to get off Grateful Dead tour. And,
Mhm.
because I had just been drugged across country. Basically, I drove across country and got arrested twice for having
Mhm.
weed in my car. But
Gosh.
I finally made it. And by the time I got there, I was just ready to go back to God, because I was raised in the church. And
Mhm.
then I met, uh, uh, I was in rock bands and stuff like that. And then I met a
Mhm.
rock star, and he was like, whenever you make it out west, come and see me. So I was like, man, I got to get my band together.
Mhm.
But I was with my guitarist in the car when we got arrested in Utah.
Oh my God.
And that was the end for me.
I don't know what keeps happening to Raja. She keeps clicking out. Um, Yeah, I mean, I actually I believe God's with us all the time. I actually believe that God's everything. God's the air we breathe, He's the water we drink, it's the food we eat. It's the universe. It's like, it's the cosmos. You're back on rage. I've just put the link back up again. And that gives me peace as well. Just kind of, when you feel like you're alone, it's not even feeling like that there's somebody with you. It's just the energy that surrounds you. You know, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and to be able to just speak out loud sometimes. Here we go, rage. To
Sorry.
speak out loud and actually to just when we say, "Oh, God help
Uh,
us," like we mean it.
yeah.
We do, but I do believe I understand. Do you want to go back to what you were saying about the church, right?
Oh, yeah. The church, when I got to San Francisco, that was when I really got the best counseling because I needed God in my life,
Mhm.
and that was part of the mental illness was needing God.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's for me, that's always been part of my treatment plan is
Yeah.
because I know that when I'm with him in prayer, that I'm being led because I'm asking to do the right thing.
Mhm. That's right. That's right. I completely agree with you. Um, See you tomorrow, Jen. I completely agree
Yes,
with you there. I
Marzo.
mean, we've got you know, absolutely surrounded with beautiful churches in Ireland, really beautiful churches. And even though I wouldn't follow, a certain religion, I was actually brought up Catholic. Um, but I kind of, my religion is knowing that God is around me all the time. My
Hmm.
my religion would be more spiritual.
Yeah,
I
I was
believe in
raised in a
God,
cult.
of course. But I believe,
What they
like I
consider a
say, God
cult.
is everything. The
Well,
the
it's a
the the world, the cosmos, the water, the earth, everything.
right. Well, that's I've learned more about that in my adult life
That's
because
transition.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the same as me.
because
Um,
my granny was a reader. She read palms and cards,
so did
but
mine. Yeah.
she also like didn't talk about it much because she'd rather me not follow that path
Mhm. Yeah.
just because of the stigma surrounding it.
Yeah.
But
I remember. I can.
in this day and age, I think
Yeah.
it's more acceptable because we're learning as a united
Yeah, and science as well
world
comes into a lot. Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
world revolves, we're getting
Mhm.
closer to the knowledge,
Of course. Of
and
course.
it's okay. It's okay.
What's the word I'm looking for now?
And God
Like a
isn't
transition
in
period, isn't it? We go through that
yeah,
transition period
yeah.
where we kind of, that's right, you don't need a middleman to God. I don't believe that.
And
I believe
I've
exactly
never
the same
been
thing.
in a religion. I've been always just non-denominational
Yeah,
Christian.
so have I. So have I. I mean,
Yeah.
I have studied a lot of religions because I kind of I like to understand um
Yeah.
different cultures and different people. You know,
After I listened to Huda this morning, I was listening
I'll
to
do as well. Yeah,
Islam
yeah,
music.
all
And
different
boy,
sorts of
one of the
things.
last one I listened to brought me to tears, and I can't even understand it. But
I
you can
mean,
hear in their voice just how deeply they love God, you know?
yeah, Gandhi and things like that,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's certain Buddhists as well. Like that kind of fascinates me, and
Amen,
I
Queen.
think I take a little bit out of every kind of religion, and um, and it's in me. I don't feel like I have to, um, you know, uh, go to church 3 times a week to be able to thank God for I mean, obviously I do, and I ask for direction. But when I'm asking for direction, I'm asking for God's energy.
Yeah.
That's what I want to pull in is God's energy. The energy of the universe.
If you think
And
about it, us talking right now is an answer to prayer because this is what you manifested.
of course, of course,
So,
you know,
and being aware, that awareness as well is another step to
of
healing
course
in
it
as
is.
well.
Of
Because
course it is.
admitting and then acknowledging when
Mhm.
things are good and
Mhm.
acknowledging God's presence and thanking God, thanking his angels, thanking um spirits, you know,
Mhm.
involved, like anything that
I
just
feel that all around me all
gratitude,
the time.
showing gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so empathetic. Um, I pick up emotions of people as well, and I pick up that bad vibes. I can um, figure out if somebody's a bad person quite quickly.
Discernment. Yeah.
That's quite quickly, and I kind of learned to trust my instincts.
And that
And
if you think about it in Acts, it talks about spiritual gifts.
mhm,
And two of the spiritual gifts are word of prophecy
mhm,
and what is it? Prophecy and gifts of manifestation.
mhm,
Those are the gifts of the two gifts of the Holy Spirit. And because we are saved through Jesus, we have
yeah,
those gifts.
of
We are
course,
able to manifest things
of course.
in our believing and in Christ's
I mean,
ability to, you know,
I believe that when people
yeah,
say, "Oh well,
oh God,
if God was real, then we wouldn't go through all this. All this bad stuff wouldn't happen." But
uh,
people have to
God,
understand is that God is
God
the
gave us a
energy.
choice. He gave us
You
a
know,
choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
But God
And
cannot
other
physically
people's
intervene in
choices
somebody's
are
life
what
because,
creates negative things.
yeah, yeah. You know, even though we have God around us, we still have a brain of our own to be able to,
Humanity.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what humanity is. If we all followed, the Bible strictly, then, we wouldn't be where we are now. We wouldn't have evolved as people. We would
There'd
still
be
be
no
stuck
color
in a century where women couldn't, work and leave the house and,
or vote
yeah, yeah. I mean,
or
we
even
we
own
go back to them
anything.
kind of times, and we was quite hard done by. We was quite irrelevant. It was a man's world. It really was. But these days now, we've got more and more powerful women coming up, and talking, and people are looking up to women now, and that is an amazing thing because that's something 70, 80 years ago people wouldn't be doing. Um but we've got a voice now, and that's what we've been looking for. I think with people that have been through what we've been through, we're looking for a voice.
Right.
And people, you find a voice here, and you can come at any time you want to come, and you
And
can
there's
have a
so many.
conversation.
And
And
that this new generation coming up
yeah.
and the one that are because like our generation is what's running things right now,
Mhm.
pretty
That's
much,
right.
and our
That's right.
parents. But our kids, man, just their open mindedness to sexuality and their their drive to be a part of politics, be a part of um, building and creating and things like that is very encouraging because
Mhm.
they have all the knowledge that we do, plus their knowledge coming up, plus whatever they're getting ready to learn, and they're just going to be. We're going to
Yeah.
watch that power unfold, and it's going to be great. You know,
Who,
I hope. I hope. You know,
I was
I
just
have
I
faith in
was
my kids' abilities because they're going to be great. You
Of
know,
course. But that's
yeah,
what I mean. We have to bring our children up kind of it's not like how it used to be,
right.
I think when we was younger as well, we just I think our parents would have been more laid back because there wasn't so much badness in the world as, I think 40 years ago, 35, 40 years ago, children had that little bit more freedom, you know.
Yeah.
But now we want to wrap our children up in cotton wool and protect them from the world.
Hmm.
And we think by doing that, it's protecting them, and it's not necessarily protecting them. It kind of makes them naive to the real world.
Right.
You know, we have to let our children, unfortunately, live in the real world and deal
Yeah.
with the real world, because that's the only way they're going to survive the next generation, because it
Amen.
doesn't get
Yeah.
any easier. You know, nothing gets any easier. It just gets harder and harder as time goes on. You know, so we need that next generation. We need them to be strong, and it's up to us as parents to make strong, you know, women and strong men that can stand up and support and make this world a good place to be in. We don't want
Hey,
to live in a
I
place
was
where there's
I was overprotective to an extent, but then
lots
as
of
well
assault.
I was lenient
Mhm.
because I would let them experience
Yeah.
smoking if they wanted to. I would let them
Mhm.
drink a beer if they wanted to.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
figure if you're going to try it,
They're
I'd
gonna do
rather
it. They're
watch
gonna do
you
it.
do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
At
they
least
both
it's
learned that
done
they didn't like
responsibly.
it, so that was
Yeah.
great.
I mean,
And
I
then with
was
their
kind of the same,
sexuality,
more or less
like
the same
both of
with my
them,
kids.
yeah, my youngest is non-binary and my
Yeah.
oldest, you know, they identify themselves, which we were so
Mhm.
against labels back like
Yeah.
in the day,
I
but
mean,
it's just the way
I
things are
always
evolving.
I always encourage my kids
Yeah,
to be themselves, no matter what. Just, there was no prejudice in our home. There was no prejudice against gay people, against other races, or anything like that. And I always said to my children, if you know, it wouldn't be a problem if one of them was, gay, or anything, transgender or whatever. That wouldn't affect the way I
right.
feel about my children. You
I
know,
heard something one time in a sermon, no matter what you've done in your life, there is nothing that you can do for God to love you any less.
exactly,
And with
exactly.
me, I've always told my children there's nothing that you can do to make me love you any less.
I say the
And I
same for my
said, sometimes it'll make me love you more
Mhm.
because you came to me and you
Yeah,
needed
and
my help.
you
And
respecting them,
yeah,
as a person as well.
yeah,
Um, I completely understand that. We have that too. I've always been really open and honest with my kids.
right.
I mean, not about so much of what I've been
Yep,
through
hair
in life,
gal.
but
Exactly.
I've always made it abundantly clear that they can come to me about anything, and they're not going to get judged, or they're not going to get,
Yeah.
even if it's something I don't like, you know, tell me the truth and I can sort it out. I don't believe in, I don't want secrets in our house. I want that if there's a
Yeah.
problem, or there's, I want it,
And we're
and
the kind of
it's
moms that
always
know
worked
when
well
something's
for
up
us.
anyway.
It's
Yeah.
always worked well. But I think my children grew up pretty quickly because of, the, the the issues with the dad and stuff like that.
Right.
They had to grow up
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
My mom
Um,
died when I was pregnant with Trish, my youngest, Tree. I call her Trish too because I named her after my
mhm.
mom. Named him after my mom, but I also called them Tree when they were little, so they went with that.
Was you very close to
But
your mother growing up?
I was very close, and I I I flew out. She followed me out to California, and I left to come back to stay with my dad
Mhm.
and try to see if we could do things here. And left her out there with her husband, but she got real sick, and so I flew back. She got real sick, and then she took a year for Social Security to pay for the operation that she needed. And then when they finally did the operation, there were complications,
Oh my God.
and it was a mountain hospital. They didn't even have a dialysis machine.
Oh my
So, but I flew out there with Trish in my belly, and I was able to tell her that we were naming Trish after you and all that stuff, and sing to her and all this stuff. And then
Mhm.
Like they said, well, she's going to be a vegetable if you'll have to have her on life support. And I knew because she
She
used to
wouldn't
work in
want
nursing homes and stuff like that. And I know that she would never want to be like that.
to. Hmm.
So we made the decision to take her off life support. But going back, my husband would leave for weeks at a time to go work.
Hmm.
And Sandra, my oldest, was the only one there. So she grew up a lot after my mom died because I needed my mom still. So
Hmm.
Sandra kind of took over that role, which wasn't healthy, and I understand that. But
Hmm.
was 20 years ago, so it's
Yeah.
nothing I can change now. But
But you would have
Sandra and
been
I have
mum
come.
20
Sandra
years
and I
ago
have
anyway,
our
you know.
relationship. Our relationship, I think, is stronger because of that in a lot of
Hmm.
ways. Even though I made her grow up too fast, and in that way, and we've reconciled on. So
Yeah,
it's not something
I think that was the same
that I
with me.
that I convict myself about
Yeah.
anymore because we've reconciled. But yeah, it made her grow up a lot, and I think, but it also made them stronger. Like
Mm.
they worked. The pandemic happened when we were in Philly. She worked straight through everything. Never got unemployment. She worked downtown during the riots
Jeez.
and during the protests and all that. That made her a stronger person, and
Hmm.
I admire her so much. Like they've lived a thousand lives already in their short
Yeah.
six.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I
I've
do
got
need to
great.
get off
I
here.
have
I
got
told her I
great.
was going to help her clean and
I've
sitting
got
in
great
here yapping
kids. I'm
away.
really proud. Um,
Yeah,
I don't really. I mean, I haven't even saw my mother for maybe 4 or 5 years. Not even saw. I've not saw my dad probably longer than that, maybe 6, 7 years.
it was
Um,
7 before I saw my dad again recently.
yeah, it was. It was just that my mom picked um, abusive partner over us. My mother, she was mentally ill herself. So she was abused by her actual granddad, which I didn't find out till I was I was an adult. Um, and it kind of made me understand then a little bit why she was the way she was. But at the same time, I found it really hard to understand because I knew that after what I'd been through in my life, my kids would never, ever, ever have to go through that. And
Right.
I couldn't understand how my mum, kind of stood back um, and just
My
allowed
mom
bad
used to hold
things
me
to
down while
happen.
my dad spanked me. You know,
Sorry?
my mom used to hold me down when my dad would hit me.
Mm,
So that was something like that. Her dad was abusive to
hmm.
her mom and to all of the kids.
Yeah,
They had nine
it's a
kids.
vicious circle. One,
Yeah.
it takes a generation to break the cycle. That's what I believe. It doesn't take.
Right.
It takes a generation because the circle goes for generations and generations. I mean, my grandmother, who was an Irish traveller, she grew up in orphanages, nunneries, and they was really bad, really really bad. And then she didn't know how to be a mother when she had her children, and she didn't really attach herself to my mother. Her being a girl, she just didn't have an emotional attachment to my mom like she did her sons. Um, and my
That's
mom
right.
used to be dropped off with my granny and my granddad. Apparently, my great granddad was sexually abusing my mom. Um, and then apparently I came out of I was actually told I was a right child at one point, but it was kind of she grew up. I grew up with my mom kind of hating me and not knowing why she hated me, um,
Oh,
and it was pretty sad. It was. I grew up. It was difficult as a teenager, and again having relationships with people because I used to think to myself, if my own mum doesn't love me, who will? So you kind of take love from wherever you can get it, you know, and that's what makes you vulnerable, and that's what makes predators, um, what makes you susceptible to predators and predatory behaviour. Um, and it's a horrible thing, It really is a horrible thing. The we've got documentaries about that. Um, the um the the children's home that my granny was actually in, well, the orphanage she was in. I think they found something like 100 babies' bodies buried in the grounds. Um, a lot of pregnant women under the age of, I think, 16 as well was also sent to these orphanages to have the children. And we found out like later on in life that a lot of the children were sold and sent to America. And then a lot of the children died. But I mean, a lot of the mothers was told that the babies died anyway, and there wasn't. It was stolen, and the Catholic Church was basically trafficking um, babies, children, um, and it was a really sad situation. Actually, it was really sad. I mean, what they did to my nan. I mean, my nan's only got one eye. She actually had her eye took out while she was in the orphanage, and her sister, my auntie, She suffered like you, right? She's got burns all over her legs, where they dropped her in a scalding hot bath.
Mm,
Nuns,
yeah,
nuns,
yeah. I will see. Sometimes I
sexual
wonder
abuse,
if this
physical
woman that burnt
abuse.
that was neglected me, if she was a babysitter, so and my mom didn't really know her. Sometimes
Mhm.
I feel like did she do some kind of spell
Was it?
on me when she
Yeah.
burnt me or whatever because my life has always felt like cursed. But I know I'm not alone. I just like to
No, no. But
imagine
you
things.
have to again. You
My
know.
granny told me one time that we were cursed, our
Yeah.
family, because
Yeah.
my
Well,
because
we had a lot of
I've
that.
had 3 murders in my family, and
We've had a few murderers in
yeah,
the family,
rapes,
unfortunately.
people in prison for everything from drugs to
Mm.
assaults and murder. Like,
It just seems to never end.
yeah,
Um.
that's why when I was in San Francisco, that counseling that I did was breaking free from what was it called? I can't remember. Breaking the chains of breaking the chains of generational sin.
Mhm.
It was where you do a spiritual cleanse of
Mhm.
ancestral ties, and then people pray for you, and then you get counseling for the things that you grew up seeing that have affected your life now.
Yeah.
It
I
was
get that.
really good for me because at that time I had I didn't have a very deep understanding of why I was acting the way I was acting until
Mhm.
I realized a lot of it is generational.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely. Um. And that's what it is. That's the vicious circle, and you know you have to be the one that breaks that circle. Something that circle broken by somebody.
Oh, long
And
gone. That's a sweet story.
I found I found the second that I had my daughter at 16, I made sure and I promised myself and I promised her. I remember sitting there writing a letter to her before she was even born, promising her that she'd never ever have to go through anything like what I've been through in my life. And I made sure of that and I stuck to it. And I stuck to it with all three of my children.
Oh, good.
Um,
I did do as well.
it's been hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard. We've had
Oh,
our ups and downs. Um,
I was in, there was drinking and smoking and everything by the time I was like 9.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I just,
yeah,
my mind has never been all together there. I know that. And then as an adult, I've realized that because of the traumas and things like that, the big PTSD is part of the reason why I have so many mental problems.
yeah. PTSD is
So
crippling.
it's a pyramid,
Hmm.
but
It's
I've
it,
risen above.
it's actually crippling.
Yeah.
Somebody keeps bombing the chat with these stupid fucking. We've blocked them, I think, and we've put them in times out.
I thought they were
It's
robots.
I don't know. The robots that does it, or does somebody just spam the chats with them? I'm not sure. I get them
Weird.
on comments as well sometimes. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I remember seeing them. I just thought they were
Yeah,
robots
I don't know.
or
We
people.
don't need no love chat over here, adult dating
Yeah, I
sites.
was going to thank you.
Right,
I
look,
was
guys.
just
I'm
talking
gonna.
about how that, yeah.
Sorry, Rage. I was just gonna say, I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight now.
Yeah.
We're nearly at 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. here, and I know my hooves must be tired.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
it's always
there's
nice talking to you, Stella.
it's always nice talking to you as well, Rage. And you're welcome here anytime, and whenever you're live,
Cool.
I'll catch you on your lives as well. I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
over. Oh, it's
Well,
bots doing
I
it.
once I start making a little money, then I'll be able to get where I guess you don't have to have. Do you have to have an account to do StreamYard where you can
No,
have people up?
you can. I think you get something like
Because I know you
uh
get 6 with Restream.
no on StreamYard. I think you actually get 20 hours free per month
Oh, okay.
before you have to
Wow.
start paying.
I'll start running
Um,
through the Restreams and stuff or the
yeah,
StreamYard.
Restream's different. But on StreamYard, I think you get 20 hours free
Oh, 20.
a
I
month.
meant like can you have people on the StreamYard
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
without an account?
I work on StreamYard now,
Yeah.
and I've worked off StreamYard since I've started, and I think
Okay.
I can have up to 7 or 8, but not 8 people
That's
at the
cool.
same time in the chat. On panel, so it's pretty good. But they give you 20 hours a month free, and then obviously if you stream longer than that, then you join up as a member. I think it's $25 a month or something. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's worth signing up to, definitely. Um, who's this?
Somebody coming up?
Carlos Martinez. Stop spamming chat. I don't know.
Oh,
Particularly in this channel. Oh yes, I know. There's just so many fools in here. Honest to God.
I
Yeah.
do too.
They
Wash
just send them
dishes.
over.
You know
That's what they
'em.
do. They send them over. They're like, I'll go over into the chat and make a fucking fool of yourself. We
Yeah,
don't.
because
We
we're
don't.
having a good time without
Yeah,
y'all.
we're having a good time and we're talking, and you know, this is what it should be about. It shouldn't be about all that negativity all the time. And there is, and I will call people out if I think them they're just desserts. You damn right I will, and I'll stand up for the people that need to be stood up for. But I'm not gonna. Yeah, thank you, sweetheart. I'm not going to argue with trolls from Nicolina or fucking Benny's room. I'm not. That's not. They're irrelevant to me.
I
You know.
went as soon as I blocked everybody. Everybody that I see,
Mhm.
everybody I've seen that has said something bad about me, I block them.
Mm. I
And
don't. You know what? I really
everybody that
don't
went
because
against me, I blocked everybody. So
I
and
mean,
from
I
my channel, I went in
say to
my
the
channel and
mods.
blocked everybody. I like
I say
went
to
and
the
made sure
mods.
I got their channel
Yeah,
specifically and put them in there as blocked so that they
yeah.
can't fuck with my chat.
Oh, if they fuck on my chat too much, then that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
But I let people voice their opinions. I don't expect everybody to kind of like me or like the situation or
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know
I understand people are
that
going to be
that's
dickheads,
that's
but
their opinions, and
yeah.
I'm quite able to to take
But I
that
don't
kind
put
of.
up with anybody calling me a liar or
Oh, no, that
saying
kind
I'm
of
a
stuff.
whore
No,
or
Jesus
anything like that.
Christ.
That's not
No, oh
absolutely
God,
not
it's not
true.
that.
I mean, I lie about, like, if somebody looks funny in their
And you,
outfit so I don't
yeah, you
hurt their
said
feeling or
that.
some things like that, or,
Yeah. I mean,
private things
anybody that
about
says they
personal
don't
business. But
is lying. you know.
like, I'm not going to tell you that if I got a little pee on the floor on my foot or something. You know
You
what I mean?
shouldn't
Like,
say
that's
stuff like
just,
that.
like, yeah, like,
They'll hold it against you. Yeah, but this is what I mean. I
and
mean,
like, how
it's
you
just,
doing? And you're having a shit day. I'm okay. That's a
yeah,
lie.
of course, of course, of course, we
But
all do it.
but as far as like anything that would hurt somebody, I would never lie about somebody or intentionally hurt somebody like that.
Because you know how it feels to be hurt. That's
I
why.
do. I do.
You know, you've got a heart. There's
And
nothing wrong with having a heart. Nothing at
yeah,
all.
but
Right, look,
that's
I'm gonna
what we
get
need
this.
on these streets.
Yeah, oh, it's
We need to
mean. Oh,
get our little
sweet.
radiator flyer out, fill it
Yeah,
up with the soup and knowledge, and go take some out and serve.
it is really, really, really. You got to have some backbone to be able to do this.
Yeah.
You really do. And you've got to be able to take the criticism as well as the good comes and the bad comes, and I get a lot more
Thank
good
you
than I
for
do
that.
bad, and it's the good that kind of keeps me going and going and going. And the people that do reach out to me and email me, and I do spend a lot of my day responding, and that makes me feel good about myself because I feel like I've got a purpose and I feel like I've done something good
Yes.
that day, you
And
know.
it's an answer to prayer for me because I've been asking about my purpose for years.
Hmm. But this is what I mean.
I had to get my shit together first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like God is giving me a little bit at a time
Yeah,
to let me know I'm on the right path,
yeah,
but keep making the
you're
right
on the right,
choices because,
you're on the right
it's all
path.
about choices.
That's what that's about as well, we're not. How can we say we love God and be selfish?
Right.
Um,
Or not want to help somebody
exactly. That would
or
make
want to
us
destroy
creative.
somebody's life. Like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
what
No.
these people do.
Yeah.
They're not good people, and they're very miserable people because happy people don't do stuff like that. Yeah, I know. I've heard that she's lost a job as well.
See, like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I've heard that
Jeez.
Nicoline has lost a job. Well, that's what happens. When you go online and you start bullying people, and you're in a position of trust in a job, then you know that's your own fault. That's your own fault. Nobody told you to come out here and
Oh,
start
I'd be
bullying
hella
people.
pissed if I was
She
her
lost a
husband.
job, then I'm sorry, I've got no. I have. She's one of the people I do lack empathy for. I really do. And I really hate to say I hate anybody because hate's such a strong word, but I do really lack empathy when it comes to that woman. I really do. It just feels like everything that comes to her
And
now
it's
is her
hard to care
karma.
about somebody that
No,
laughs at
I
people's
can't.
iniquities and
No, I
yeah,
can't. And takes a pregnant woman that's taken um really mentally ill, pushing people like that to
and terrorizing.
it's disgusting. She deserves to
Mm.
lose a job. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. Really
They
bad.
both got some cleanup to do.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, sweetie, I'm gonna get off here.
Right, yeah, right.
Much love and light.
I'm gonna say this one. Mwah.
I
Good
love
night.
you,
God bless
chat.
you.
Love you
I love you
guys.
too.
All right,
Um,
bye.
thank you to everybody in the chat.
Mwah.
Mwah. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Um, oh. Well, she's got a comeuppance as far as I'm concerned. But look, guys, I am really gonna get out of here now tonight. It's nearly 12 o'clock now, and I know who's must be tired. I love you all, and I'll see you at the same time tomorrow. And I just want to thank. Um, she knows who she is. Thank you very much. for everything and everything you do for me, and I love you loads. Good night and God bless everybody.